What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're taking a look at another of one of the new heroes coming with the upcoming season, and that is going to be the hero that a lot of people thought we'd get sooner than now, but we have Lorsan here on our account, and we have a good chance to take a look at it. Now, he is an S-level hero, he's of course wilder, and he's a support hero with range 5. While that's not the longest range, that's pretty good for support heroes so that they're not in melee range. Now, his kit is interesting. He's more about debuffing slash damage with a combination of healing and shielding. His kit is really interesting. It's a very basic, straightforward kit compared to what you guys might have seen with Elijah and Lila earlier today, the celestial twins that are coming out. Let's go over this so you guys can understand about this. So, number one, the ultimate skill, Whispering Tempest. This is a global hit here. Lorsan channels his power to summon a storm centered on the frontmost enemy, so it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever the closest enemy to your side of the battlefield is, that is who it's going to target, lasting for 5 seconds. Enemies within 2 tiles, which is a pretty good circular range, are affected by the storm will suffer haste reduction and taking damage from Lorsan every second. Now, the damage isn't a crazy amount of damage. I don't know how well that's going to do, but the main part here I think is going to be the haste reduction, slowing that enemy team down. They're not hitting you as fast. We'll have to see how that plays out. Stormbound Retribution. When the battle starts, Lorsan links the nearest and farthest enemy heroes to each other with a Stormbound Chain. Now, this chain is very important. I'll show it to you guys real quick here in a combat. Most of his abilities revolve around this chain, so that's going to be something really important to show you guys right now. Let's put a couple heroes in. Let's just put you here and you here. So when we start this battle, you'll immediately see a chain get formed right here. You can see this here on the front and this here on the back are linked together. This chain is important because you'll notice here the damage is being shared between both of them, which is pretty big. As soon as that is broken, it immediately gets cast on another target, and you can see right here it just keeps popping off. However, you will notice something that we'll read in the description. The chain damage, the link damage, does not get shared to the other target lethally, which means that damage will deal damage up to like 1% HP, and then after that happens, that chain will no longer deal damage to that target. But it's really cool because the chain transfers 70% plus an additional 10% per point of skill power. We might see this hero wanting for those 5 points of skill power, we'll see, of the damage taken by one of the linked enemies to the other. So if they're stacked up, I think you can go back and forth really fast and they can be nuked very good. But this basically takes the power of a frontline tank and turns it against them, killing their own supports potentially. Damage transfers cannot exceed 500% of his attack and will not defeat the enemy. That's what we were talking about and why that one back enemy would never die. The chain breaks when its total damage is dealt to both enemies reach 900% of his initial attack. And of course, that does go up. And you can see right here at level 4, it's 100% plus 10%. So that means you can probably get up to 150% bonus damage to the other target. Really big. Now, he does have some support abilities as well that are pretty sweet. Lorsan protects the weakest ally with Zephyr's Embrace for 6 seconds. They cast every 12, so not too bad. There is a 3-second cooldown, it looks like, at the beginning of battle. While this is active, you protect the enemy getting dodged. So this is like one of the first chances we've had to see dodge in this game, and in every other idle AFK turn-based gacha game, dodge is usually one of the most overpowered stats in the game. Gives you a chance to dodge a normal attack. No damage is taken when you dodge a normal attack. Now, of course, ultimates, things like that will still hit, but a lot of damage from a lot of key heroes is done through their normal attacks. So this will be interesting how this plays out. Plus haste. And recovers HP every second. So that's only the weakest ally. It's not like you're doing it for the entire team. It's one target. It has like a 50% uptime in battle. Seems pretty decent. So his hero's focus is interesting. It is one that gives him more attack, which is important for a lot of his abilities here. However, when Stormbound Chain breaks for the first time, he gets an additional attack increased up to 10%. So that's really cool. And then some of his abilities, like I said, are purely linked to that Stormbound Chain. Again, that is that link we showed you at the beginning. That's very important. Lorsan recovers 200% of attack of HP for all allies when that chain breaks. So you know that big pulse you guys saw? I'll show it to you guys one more time so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about here. When that chain actually breaks here, you'll notice there's a big pulse on the battlefield. And you'll also see the little like shield and everything that we got over here. So here's what happens. Watch when this first target dies. See that big AoE pulse right there? That is what we're talking about. That is the breaking that is so key for so many of his abilities. The breaking portion is important. So that is an AoE heal, which is pretty cool. However, that is going to have to be in a game mode where an enemy is going to die. AFK battles, he could be a very strong hero. Heck, most wilders are very good in AFK battles. It might be good in PvP. Highly doubt this has any use whatsoever in Dream Realm because most of his kit is around enemies dying. And again, those usually aren't heroes that are great in PvE. Again, we'll have to see how that turns out. He will then cast it again, and we saw that right there where it linked up to the next target with a maximum of 3 casts per battle. Now, the only thing I didn't notice here, it didn't say anything about summoned or non-summoned enemies. So if there are a bunch of summons on the battlefield, you can only do maximum of 3 times. It might get wasted on summoners. We'll have to see how that turns out. At +5, increases the recovery rate to 300%. At +10, which is the bog standard that we see for regular faction heroes, when that link breaks, stuns the last linked 2 enemies for 5 seconds when the chain is broken. Now, you technically don't need to kill the enemy. It's just when they've taken enough damage for the chain to break that this is going to happen. So there is a little bit of crowd control involved. There's some healing involved. His kit is kind of all over the place. I feel like it doesn't know if it wants to be a damage dealer, a healer, a support, a debuffer, but it might all come together and be something absolutely amazing. We don't know. And finally, his enhanced force, while Zephyr's Embrace is active, which is of course that buff that he'll give to the weakest ally, the protective target is also unaffected. So that might play a key role in some battles in the future to come, because we've seen how the artifacts, like the resonating artifact, was really huge in giving that control immunity in certain game modes. This might be something very similar. However, it's only to the weakest allies, so that's going to be kind of random. It's going to be hard to really time up, but I do think this kit is cool. I just don't necessarily know if it's going to be a hero you want to go for as a free to play. Because again, normally that's not some play you want to do. Let's throw a tank hero in with him. Let's just throw, you know what? Let's throw Granny in this mix here. Show you guys what the combat looks like fully here. So yeah, you can see right there, he's unaffected from the artifact. So we'll leave that there. Pretty cool though. Actually, you know what? That's pretty neat, because if I watched it before and I had Smokey out here, did he actually get that as well? Let me change this to just any older thing. Let's change it to this one. 1, 2, 3. Huh. It doesn't actually get that unaffected glow, even though he is leveled up to that, which is interesting. But again, you can see here, like, the pulse that's going on every time this link is broken. It's a pretty cool effect, I will say. And right there, that link doing the big pulse. You will notice though in the back they are stunned, so that is working as intended. However, that target is never going to die, and once it happens 3 times, the link doesn't come out anymore, so he basically loses that whole ability. And then we got this one here. This is the one that is that kind of like tornado type thing, so maybe a combination with Aaron could be pretty disgusting. Like, I mean, that could be pretty cool. It might be something interesting, and actually we could probably throw him in the battle real quick and see what that combo would look like. Let's get them both to an ultimate real quick here and see how it turns out. So again, this link is very, very powerful, I'll say. I like it. I like how it performs. Let's see what happens when we get both of them linked up, though. So let's... Oh my gosh, they're all going to die. They're all just going to die before anything actually happens in this, honestly. Oh man, yeah, it's like a double combo thing, but hey, it is what it is. Now this hero I think has potential in specific game modes. I just, again, usually heroes that aren't great in Dream Realm are not ones recommended for free-to-play players, but we'll have to test it out and see how it actually performs. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think about this hero. It's a hero that we've been expecting for quite a while. However, it took quite a long time to get him, and I'll see you guys next time.